Man, these trees are unbelievable. That is some serious fall color action right there. I'm gonna miss this, girl. It's been a very fun summer. Tail wheel flying.
But all good things must come to an end. The Super Cub is going to bed for the winter. My pre-flight routine involves rigging my camera gear. My system is such that all my stuff is set it and forget it because most of the time I'm shooting alone.
Steve, what are you doing?
Well, James, thanks for asking. I'm setting up my cameras so they don't interrupt me during flight.
That sounds fascinating. Please tell me more.
Yes, it is. But in all seriousness, so this is my setup.
I don't think about the cameras while I'm flying, but the information I get from debriefing the footage is amazing.
The key is that the intercom cable splits off there. So
Right, okay.
That's what people always ask me to explain. So you just plug it into the intercom headset connection. This splitter splits off to my headset, obviously, and then this cable goes out to the GoPro, audio in. Simple as that.
So it's easy to manage by myself. But anytime I want to cover anything more extensive, I need my crew. And I have them out today to shoot for this segment thanks to the generosity of our good friend Jim Stroh and the global delivery team at PROGGEX, the known leader in outsourced project management solutions. Brock and James are longtime personal friends and they're also film industry professionals. They've helped me a ton for free, but I can't keep asking for favors. Jim is stepping in today with a full production budget while I work towards setting up some longer term sponsors so I can shoot with my crew more often. And the Patreon campaign is really helping with that as well.
Jim's a private pilot and he's also supportive of the Flight Shops project via Patreon. So thanks a lot, Jim. Really appreciate it.
So that footage I teased at the beginning was from my last tailwheel flight of the season.
This is friggin' beautiful. Wow, that's like flying over fire. Alright, here we go. Back on course. Let's find ourselves an airport that we've never been to.
I had her out for a cross country and I had to skirt some Class Charlie airspace. And with no transponder on board, there was no margin for error. So it was really cool to do that with ForeFlight. That's gonna be a good one, but I'm saving that for a separate video. So we're not flying today, but I learned a lot from Lee and I wanted to share it.
All right, so Lee, what are we doing here today?
Well, you know what? Today we're going to put the Super Cub to bed for the winter. Typically we don't really fly it a lot in the wintertime. It's, believe it or not the warmest airplane to fly in.
Oh, the throttle's real stiff. She's cold. Yeah. Hey, clip up. Nice. Wow.
It was pretty impressive that she started so easily.
So basically we're going to take it out, we're going to give it a run up, warm the oil.
So people call it pickling or inhibiting. Those are the two terms for what we're going to do?
Yeah, we're going to warm the engine up so all the oil comes out, and it comes out faster. Because if the oil's cold, it'll just take forever.
Right, so we're completely replacing the oil with a temporary different kind of oil?
Yep, we're going to put in an inhibiting oil. It's a little bit stickier and thicker and helps keep the moisture out of the engine.
Alright, so we're into the wind, we've got the brakes on. Okay, so we're going to go 2,000 RPM.
Yeah, we just want to get a little bit of oil temp anyways. We don't have to be up in the operating range or anything.
So after about 5 or 10 minutes running her up, we're back to the maintenance hangar and taking her apart. I'm not very mechanically inclined, so it's a little intimidating to be in the shop, but the guys are super friendly here. When I visited for some pre-production planning, there was all sorts of awesome going on, including reskinning this fabric wing from a Pawnee. Now I realize most shops probably aren't this accessible, but I highly recommend all pilots try to get at least some additional maintenance knowledge beyond the required minimums.
All right, well we got it in here. Let's
do it.
Let's get the oil out.
Do you need help with anything? Or?
Yeah, here. And it's a bit of a race.
You're gonna win. Yeah, I got one more here.
Basically what we do, we have a quick drain down here so we can quickly drain the oil without taking any plugs out. That's the oil filter right there. Since we're changing the oil, we always change the oil filter as well. We actually cut them open and make sure that there's no metal inside. The oil filter is the messiest part of this job. This is a remote oil filter actually. This is an add-on.
Originally it had a screen, which was just a real super simple, basic.
Basically didn't catch as much anything. It's better for the engine, you know? Keeps everything clean. We're gonna let this oil filter drain and then we're gonna cut it open. Whenever we change oil on an airplane, we always cut the oil filter open and inspect it inside and make sure there's no pieces of metal or anything like that, and that'll give us a sign that the engine's actually wearing out or something. Cut the top off.
And then we'll let that drain for a bit?
Yeah, we're gonna let this drain and we'll just let it drain right into here. And then we're gonna come back and slice her open. My life's really not that exciting, eh?
You
Want to cut that filter?
Yeah, let's cut that filter.
It's pretty exciting. I don't know.
Hopefully it's not exciting.
You know, usually you only find little bits of metal if you ever find any. We do oil sampling as well. Typically, we always find it in the filter first before the oil sample even comes back from the lab. You could have like aluminum shavings or some kind of metal like ferrous material.
Use a magnet or something.
You'd put a
to tell
magnet
what's
in there to see what's what. That's it. And we just open it up.
So obviously this is clean.
This is perfectly clean.
So this is like just dirt, the darker?
Yeah, just regular use, right?
Yeah, so if you saw metal, what would it be like bunched up in the gaps?
Yeah, you'd see it for sure. It'd be shiny, it'd be like glittery.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I've heard about that process, but never seen it done.
Typically what you want to do is you cut the oil filter open before you put the oil in, so
you know if you have a problem.
Yeah, you're not wasting
Right.
$50 worth of oil. We're gonna lock wire it because we lock wire everything.
How many times you stabbed yourself with a lock wire?
Oh, and they go in deep.
That's a technique right there. Is that an aviation specific thing? Like a car oil filter wouldn't have those tabs?
No. Do you know how many oil filters I've ever seen come off? Like none. But we lock wire them all.
Thought I was gonna say, I've seen like 9 oil filters come off.
Yeah, no, nothing exciting, sorry.
Yeah.
So now we are ready to put the inhibiting oil in.
And what's different about this oil than other oil?
This oil has a preserving oil in it, an inhibiting oil, and it also has regular just 100 weight oil as well.
I asked Lee if anything further had to be done throughout the winter, and his answer was interesting.
We're gonna park it, and we're not gonna turn the propeller or nothing. We're just gonna let it sit. Some guys go out and turn their propeller every couple weeks or something, but it's kind of defeating the purpose of all the preserving oil we just got on all the bearings and everything.
Right.
As soon as you turn that propeller, you're kind of scraping all that
It's cold.
oil off, and it's gone. Once we fill this with oil, we're gonna take it out. We're gonna run it for 15 minutes.
Clear prop.
Here's your chunk of milk.
Oh, did it fall out?
Yeah.
We're gonna get it nice and warm, and that way all the inhibiting oil will get everywhere. And then we're gonna shut it down. We're gonna pull the top spark plugs out.
So you're taking the plugs completely out of the tops, but only the leads
Only
off.
the leads off the bottom, yeah.
Right.
We'll just leave them off, so it's safe. So basically, get out of my shop. See you, Tom. And we're gonna put some oil in the cylinders as well.
So this thing kind of just atomizes the oil.
Yeah, it kind of just sprays out
So
on
it's
a
like-
little fan shape.
Are you filling it right up or just squirting it?
No, I spray it around in there a bit.
Right.
And then we have some decusant plugs to keep the moisture out. We're gonna just put those in the top. So as long as they're kind of pink, we're good. If they turn blue, then they've got
saturated?
moisture. Yeah, they got moisture in them, okay?
Right.
It just keeps any moisture that might be in the
absorbs.
cylinder. Yeah, it absorbs it, right? We're also gonna put a tag in on the controls. We're gonna label it that the engine's in op and it's been inhibited, just so nobody starts it up.
It'd be a big mess.
Oh.
Because the starter would turn and then,
Yeah, you might like bend a rod. or
because it'll
something.
be full of oil and there'd be a hydraulic lock.
Yeah, big lock,
Right.
yeah, so you might bend something. But yeah, and we're gonna take the battery out of this airplane too. We just store them for the winter.
So I just want to say a huge thanks to Lee and the guys at the shop for putting up with the production delays, because it probably took 3 times longer than any oil change ever.
Okay, battery's out.
And that is how you winterize a Super Cub.
It was definitely sad to see the Super Cub put away for the winter, but it was a great experience and I really appreciated being in the shop. I'm also stoked to say this was the most significantly funded Flight Chops production to date. Between the supporters on Patreon and the help from PROGGEX, I was able to recoup the majority of my production costs and most of my post-production expenses. So thanks so much for the support, and keep your flight chops sharp.